Hello, and this is Bogas Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends Spider-Man and Iron Man 2-pack from the Homecoming movie. So before we take a look at Spider-Man, the main star of the 2-pack, let's take a look at Iron Man and the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with this alternate head with the armor open, because in the movie, I still haven't seen it yet, but I do know that Iron Man, the armor is just a shell, and Iron Man, or Tony Stark, can control it just without being in the armor. I would have preferred an alternate of Robert Downey Jr. head, but I suppose it's not too bad. It's just not my favorite accessory. It's basically just a slight remold of the alternate Iron Man head from the Age of Ultron. They just took the Tony Stark head out of it and sculpted that back in there, because it only goes to right there. It's kind of just an effect of making it look deep, like it's actually hollow. But, not like I said, not my favorite accessory. And I will go ahead and show this real quick. If you have the Civil War 3-pack with that came with this Iron Man head, you can fit that on there if you want. I do prefer this, so you can do that. And for his last accessory, he comes with this repulsor blast. And this is the same one that's been seen with the Iron Man figure from the Giant Man Build-A-Figure and the 3-pack, the Civil War 3-pack. And I suppose you could, if you wanted, put it in one of his feet, but that'd just mean that he'd be flying like that, like phew. But this fits in this hole in his left hand right there. Peg just ports in really easily, so you can have him doing that. But his articulation, you really can't get him doing the, like how he actually hovers. Plus, he doesn't come with any alternate hands. I would have preferred an alternate hand also, just like the one from the Giant Man Build-A-Figure, because I did like him with two fists instead of the open hands like usual. But now let's look at the figure. I think the head sculpt looks really nice. This is just an exact repaint of the Mark 46 one, I want to say. I can't keep up with all the marks because there's going to be another one in the Infinity War movie. But this is just a repaint of the Giant Man series Civil War Iron Man. Same exact sculpt and everything, it's just repainted. But I did find that with my Iron Man, there's a lot of inconsistency with the collars. Like over here on his left arm, that's like a darker red. Like his head, if you look, is actually kind of pinkish. It's more pink than anything. This is dark red. His shoulder pad's kind of pinkish red. Down here on his legs, the front of them are red. But on the back, it's kind of pinkish. So I'm not really a fan of how the collars kind of come and go. You can see he's got a lot of sculpting detail going on his armor. I think it looks really nice for just being a repaint. And this is similar to the Ultimate armor from Iron Man, the Ultimate Iron Man figure. I couldn't find mine, or I would have showed that in this review. But this is the color scheme of the Ultimate Iron Man armor, so I'm glad that they incorporated that into the MCU. I think he has some good sculpting on his back. But some things I found, like the sculpting right here, kind of smooths out. Like the lines they're sculpted in kind of just come and go. Like, let me show it compared to this one. The Giant Man one. You can see that all the lines are sculpted very clearly and they have a texture to them. And this Iron Man, it's just kind of smooth right there. There's no texture or anything to it. This one is just defined a little more. I'm not sure, kind of, because if you look at this one again, you can see, like right here on his abdomen, that armor is sculpted out pretty nicely. And this one kind of just looks funny to me. Maybe it's the collars with it. That might be it. Maybe it's just the color making it look funny. But some of the sculpting does kind of come and go. But it does look kind of metallic. I do like that. But another thing that I didn't like was this back here on his neck. I know there's supposed to be some silver paint going on there, but it's just smudged everywhere. And then there's not even anything painted up here. So, this figure, it isn't too bad, but it's just not my favorite. I thought I'd like it a lot more than what I did. You can see more sculpting on his boots there. But as you can see, like if you hold it out here, you can tell that this is a really dark red, which I love. That dark red looks really nice. And you can tell that this is pink. I don't know if it's just mine, because this is the only pack I was able to find at my Toys R Us, and it was hidden. But the colors are just very inconsistent on this figure. So now I'm going to go over his articulation. He's got a ball jointed head that can look all the way back, can look all the way down, can move side to side. He's got ball jointed shoulders that can move out that far. And another complaint I have, this shoulder can't move out at all. Like, this one can swivel also. This one can swivel just a little bit, but it can't even move out. That does bother me. It just, I don't know. Because you can see that it's not moving up, and that hinders his bicep articulation right there. So I'll just do the articulation over here, since this arm is like, I even tried boiling hot water. It's like it's glued down in there or something, like the swivel that allows it to go outward. I don't know. He's got a swivel at the bicep, and as you can see, he should be able to do that. But since his arm is stuck like this, it can't move as much. He's got a double jointed elbow. He's got a swivel at the wrist that can move back and forth and side to side. He's got a ball jointed diaphragm that can move back just a little bit and down all the way. It can move side to side. He's got ball jointed hips that can move out that far. And this can actually, his ball jointed hips can actually move out further than the Giant Man version. I will show that real quick. His can only move out that far. So that is an improvement on his articulation. He can kick forward just a little bit. The armor does hinder that. He can kick back just a little bit. He's got a swivel at the thigh. It can move just a little bit, just because that armor right there at the thigh kind of moves up like that. He's got a double jointed knee, a swivel at the ankle, and an ankle rocker. So overall, I think this figure is good, but it's not great, just because of the inconsistency in collars and the arm not being able to move. That really bothers me, because you can only move it that far. You can't actually get him in a flying position or anything, so that does bother me. So now let's take a look at Spider-Man. And before we take a look at Spider-Man, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. Sometimes I forget to say that. So first up is the alternate head, the unmasked head. And I've got to say, Hasbro did a really impeccable job on this. That's just awesome. That looks so much like Tom Holland, it's not even funny. So I do love that head sculpt. The eyes came out clean and everything. I like the hair. The hair looks nice too. To switch this out, just pop his head off. It pops off really easily. But you're seeing what I'm seeing, right? That head is humongous on this body. I was really excited because I still haven't found the Vulture Wave Spider-Man. So this was going to be my placeholder until I find it. And I was really excited to get this alternate head, and then I put it on. And it looks like a bobblehead. The head is just way too big for this body. So that does bother me. I suppose at least the sculpt is good on it. It looks like him. I suppose it's not really all that bad if you want to display him like this. It's just bigger than it should be. Just put this back on. And Spider-Man comes with his web wings. Let me put his arms like that. Which, this does bother me because you can see that these web wings are translucent with a little bit of gray dry brushed over them. I think it looks really nice. And I was really excited for these accessories. But once you put it on Spider-Man's arms, they don't even want to peg in. And once you do, let me get them on here. they look awkward. They just look funny. And you can't even put his arms to, like his left arm here goes the way it's supposed to with the web wings. But for some reason, this one right here on his left arm just kind of points back like that. You can see how that's pointing. So you can't actually get him into the flying position. His right arm's fine, but his left arm, that web wing just does not want to stay on. And I thought maybe if you switched him around, it'd be, that'd make a difference. Let me show that off real quick. But that doesn't look right. I mean, you could use it like that. But then neither side actually meets up. There's still that gap right there. So I suppose these web wings were a little useless to include, since you can't really use them like you're supposed to. And you can't put his arms down with them either. Well, I didn't really figure you could, but I thought I'd try it before the review. Now for the head sculpt. I do like this head sculpt. It's supposed to be Spider-Man going like that. Like this eye over here, the right eye, is supposed to be squinting. Wait, I did that wrong. It's supposed to be like that. The right eye is supposed to be squinting. Like you can see where the eye's supposed to be squinted to. But it wasn't painted on. It's just all white right there. So that does bother me a little bit. And another thing I found on this figure is that the gray, because the webs are actually sculpted in, it actually really surprised me because I thought they were just painted on. But with them being sculpted and painted, for some reason, there's lots of, like, gray that's ran into the red. I'll show that in just a second. Like, you can see that right there, there's just a hunk of, like, gray paint right there. Like, especially right here, because it's not supposed to be like that. It's just supposed to be gray, that dark gray down in the sculpted web lines. But you can see that right here, the paint, they kind of just went crazy with the paint right here between his eyes and just made it all gray. At least I suppose that, like where all the web lines meet, at least that's red. And on his back, you get the back of his head, you get the same thing. Like you can see the gray right there that ran. And on his back, it looks really good. I like that spider symbol. That looks really awesome. And Spider-Man actually has a texture to him. Like, all of this blue has a kind of mesh texture to it. So that's really awesome. Like actually how the suit's supposed to feel. And I love this spider logo right here. Would have been cool if it would actually pop off and fly like in the trailer. Or not fly, but, just pop off and have like a little clear flight stand. That'd be really awesome. But another thing that I don't like about this figure is the inconsistent paint with this figure too. Because you can see that this is that light red, and this is just really, really dark red. So all of the colors of Spider-Man are different. Like, even on his feet, they're different colors. It's more gray than anything, where that gray is just rubbing off. So I really don't know what to do about that. You can see he's got those lines right there. I think that looks cool. And another thing I didn't like is when you put his arm down, you get that weird gap right there. That is really unsightly. Like, I suppose you could just have him posed like this. But if you want his arms straight down, that's the way I put him for this review. You get those really ugly gaps right there. So that does bother me. And if you look at his arms, look at where all that gray just ran. Like, you can see that the gray is smudged right here. And on his left arm, the left arm isn't as bad, but you can see that this line, it's supposed to be thin and the paint's really white on it. Like, I tried painting a Spider-Man once, and this is what my lines look like. Because I made a custom Spider-Man, and the lines on it were horrible. But you should never get that, because this pack is $40. So this should be clean. There should be no smudging of the paint. But it really bothers me right here. Because you can see all that gray that's just smudged right there. It's the same on his hands. Like, his hands is actually missing some paint. Like, it doesn't even have all the gray in there. you can see that the gray is smudged. But then Hasbro just left it blank up here. Yeah, forgive me if I'm going. I started sneezing really bad before this review, and I just noticed I'm going like. I do like that Hasbro painted some lines in here on his legs. That looks really nice. And here's where you get a lot of the texture. I'm trying to see if the camera will pick that up. The camera might not pick it up because it's really fine detail. But it is sculpted in there. You can see that the lines continue all the way through. That looks really nice. Now, at least the lines on here aren't smudged. I don't know how these lines aren't. Because these lines they're painted on look terrible. Just because of all the smudging and stuff that went on. Here are his feet. And there's a lot of smudging going on the paint on his feet. Because you can see that the lines aren't really too bad right here on the front of him. But you turn it around. And look at all that smudging. That's just basically all one gray area that's supposed to be red. You can see that the lines are kind of bleeding right there. So that really does bother me because I paid full price for this figure. I didn't have a coupon or anything like that. Like, if I had a coupon, it wouldn't be as bad, but still, I mean, paying, like, even if you had $10 off, say it was $30, that still wouldn't be worth it to get two figures that paint's inconsistent. Iron Man's arm doesn't move. Spider-Man, all the lines are smudged on him. Like, right here, let me get a close-up of his arm here, because he has a butterfly joint that reveals more of his arm. Or like shoulder. Where was it? Right here. Look at that. The line is like cut in half right there. It's not even colored right there, and then continues on. And this is just smudged everywhere. So that does bother me. So, if, you know, it just... I want to like this pack so bad, because I wanted the Iron Man. I love the new colors of Iron Man. And I get that. And I get this figure, and the paint apps on it are just as horrible. The articulation's good, but like I said, paint can make or break a figure, and in this case, it definitely broke the figure. So now I'm going to go over the articulation. He's got a ball-jointed head that can look all the way back, can look all the way down. He's got butterfly joints in his arms that can do that. It can move forward. I do like that they gave him butterfly joints. That's really reminiscent of Toy Biz. He's got ball-jointed shoulders that can move all the way out. He's got a swivel at the bicep, double-jointed elbow, swivel at the wrist that can move back and forth and side to side. He's got an ab crunch that can move back that far and down very far. Like, the thumbnail for this was going to be Spider-Man flying like that, like in the trailer, but you can't get him with the web wings into that position, so, you know. He's got a swivel at the waist. He's got ball-jointed hips that can move out that far. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back just a little bit. He's got a swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knee, swivel at the ankle, and an ankle rocker. So the articulation is really great on this figure. Like, you can get him into a lot of Spider-Man kind of positions, you know? But the paint on this figure is just terrible. I hate to be a hater. That's one thing I don't like doing. Because the way I look at it is this could just be a case of just my, you know, my pack that I got. It could just be my bad luck with figures like that. But, you know, like I said, I don't like being a hater, but I don't think that the hefty price tag is really worth it when you get figures like this. If all the packs are like this, it isn't worth the $40 price tag. So here are Spider-Man and Iron Man side by side. I think the height difference is really good on these two. So now let's move this to the center just a little bit. And here's Iron Man next to the previous Iron Man figure. You can see how they're the same, just repainted. Yet, like, some of the lines on this figure aren't as clearly defined as this figure. Here's the previous Spider-Man figure. As you can see, this is actually a prototype. Like, this was actually a concept, I believe. I believe this was actually a concept drawing of Spider-Man. And this isn't actually what appeared in the film, as you may know. So there's the previous Spider-Man. I like the new one better, just because of the darker colors. Or I like the new Spider-Man because of the lighter colors, not darker colors. I just really didn't like darker colors on this one because it didn't even look like the one that was in the movie, so that's why. And here both of them are, next to Captain America. And then for my final comparison, here they both are, next to the Vulture. Now, since I haven't seen the movie, I've of course just got to wait until the movie comes out on DVD. I don't even know if these three share a scene together. But that looks really awesome right here. I can really imagine a fight going on between Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Vulture. That would be really awesome. So that's my review. I honestly, I like it, but I wouldn't pay $40 for it. And if you do want to get this, I would highly recommend looking through, like, originally mine had like 5. And I guess someone bought all of them and hid this one. So I would definitely look through all of them just to see which one has the best paint apps. So that's my review. And if you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.